Hello, everybody. Let's try take two because take one didn't go so well. It's raining here, so I'm not sure if that's affecting my internet. But I once again have Facebook and Instagram on. I'm going to talk to both of you guys today. And you may wonder, like, why are you abruptly showing up on my Facebook and my Instagram every day? And here's the thing. I realized this is not about me. This is about you guys and messages that I have to tell you and things that I have learned over my 7 years of growth since my back injury, which really was the catalyst for a lot of changes in my life. And as I was saying on the first take of this, today's called Transition Tuesday because I went to a recent conference at the end of April and I had a lot of revelations at the conference. And one of which is that I've had, y'all know, I labeled my podcast Love the Leap with Dr. Renee because I don't do things gradually. I leap into it. Hello. Thank you for joining me. I jump into things. I go with my gut and I just jump and I take the leap. So that's the title of my podcast, where we're really focused on a lot of transitions in life and then obviously some health talks because I can't help but stream that in there. So we'll probably get a health talk or something health related later in the week, but today we're talking about transitions. And so what I've done is realized actually that I am an expert with life transitions. I've had several drastic life transitions to the point where I actually made a list of all of the transitions in my life, because when I start, I just think of like the 4 or 5 highlighted big huge things, but I had 23 that I can think of off the top of my head. So that's pretty amazing. So one thing I want to talk about today is the fact that I used to label myself as shy and introverted. Hey, Benjamin. I actually was in high school, if I got up to public speak, I'd get all hivey, like you know how you get rashes and like all red faced and I start sweating and like I could hear my heart beating in my ears. Like I would just like, and then here I am today speaking on live videos. I know nobody's in front of me directly except for behind a camera, but prior, I had been doing like live health talks to like a room of 60 people. And again, to some of you guys that may not sound a lot, but for me, I was that kid that got rashy and hivey and like awful looking during a presentation. And I'd actually, and I remember in elementary school, I get called on to read and my heart started beating fast. And so I was this shy person all through school. And I've always labeled myself as introverted. And I would never think that I would actually be the person standing in front of 60 people talking at a health talk, doing these live videos, or starting my recent podcast, right? So here's my message for today, and I'm probably going to do a longer post on this later, but some people don't like to read. Some people like to listen. I'm a listener. I like to listen more than I like to read myself, but here's the thing. If you were like me or are currently like me and you label yourself as shy, introverted, I can't do that because that's not me. I'm not outgoing. I can't talk to people. I get all hivey when I get in front of people. I'm not telling you to go get in front of a group of 60 people and talk. That's not what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you, or to do a live video or to start a podcast, here's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you that you have to stop telling yourself that story. If you don't want to be that way any longer. So say there's so many people, I wish I get messages often because apparently I appear confident, and that's great, but I have worked on it because this has not always been me. And so I had to stop telling myself that story that I was shy and that I was introverted. Because as a matter of fact, I actually do like socializing. I do like talking to people. I'm not completely introverted. My husband's more introverted, I think, than I am, but I will not seek out like a group of people generally. And again, maybe you don't want to change. Maybe you're completely happy with who you are and being, a quiet person and not going over to those people or meeting them or not doing a live video. And that's cool. I'm not saying you have to change. However, I hear a lot of people message me saying, can you teach me how to be more outgoing, more confident? do live videos, whatever. And the first thing you have to do is stop telling yourself that you are a certain way, because what we focus on expands. What we resist persists, right? So I have to keep an eye on the time because I have something to go to in about 20 minutes. But so stop telling yourself stories and stop labeling yourself a certain way, okay? And then see yourself differently. How do you want to see yourself, right? And you have to believe in yourself that you can do this. And I said yesterday on my, when I talked about being stuck, nobody's going to do this for you. You have to do it yourself, and you're going to have to want it enough to be able to do it and believe in yourself. And again, our minds can get so in the way of change because we keep telling ourselves those old stories of how we used to be and how we cannot be a certain way. Maybe your parents told you that, right? Maybe it was something. I'm learning so much about like how our childhoods affect us as adults and the stories that we were told as kids or what our parents told us. And not to say anything bad about parents, because they did the best they could, like we are doing the best that we can. But I just think that sometimes you remember those things that were played over and over in your head from someone who said, it may not even been a parent, it could have been a classmate, it could have been a teacher. I've heard so many stories. And so the point is you have to actually want to change and tell yourself a different story and picture yourself a different way. Okay. It's sometimes hard for me to visualize. It's a big tool that athletes use all the time, visualizing. I try to do it. It takes more effort for me to visualize things to see in the future, but I do it. And I see myself, for instance, when I was competing, in my first competition, I remember people telling me backstage, have you done shows before? You seem so confident and calm. And that was because, guys, I meditated, first of all. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But I visualized every single day for like 2 months before that competition how I was going to be behind stage, how it was going to be as I walked on the stage, what I was going to look like on stage, how I was going to pose. It was all about visualization. So when it came to the day I was actually doing it, I felt like I had done it 50 times already, 100 times, however many days I had visualized it, right? Doesn't take long, doesn't take much effort, right? So you just have to stop. You have to see yourself in a different way. So if you no longer want to be shy, I had to start saying, okay, or introverted, or telling myself that I couldn't do live videos here, or I couldn't do a podcast because I am shy and introverted. That is not true. And I can change how I see myself. So, and of course, a podcast is behind a microphone. And as a matter of fact, here's my microphone. And I have a new podcast episode coming out today, so stay tuned. And, again, you're your biggest cheerleader. You have to believe in yourself. I have a ton of supportive Facebook groups that I'm in that help me. But at the end of the day, it comes down to me because they're not living in my house with me to tell me every second of the day that you can do this, right? And so I'm here to tell you, and again, like I said in the beginning of this video, this is not for me to sit on here and toot my horn, because this is for me to say that I've done it, here's how I've done it, and you can do it too, okay? I know a lot of you guys messaged me, privately or on the video yesterday saying how yesterday's live video, and I'm sorry, Instagram is only on for 24 hours. I'll probably put it on my IGTV. Facebook is living on my page forever, and it's also on my business page. So this information is out there for everybody, and I shared my 3 tips of getting unstuck yesterday. And today, I have 4 tips on how to transition from a certain way that you used to be to how you are now. And the last tip, aside from stop telling yourself your stories, stop labeling yourself, see yourself differently, like visualizing and believe in yourself, that kind of goes together. And number 3, personal development. They used to be called self-help books. When I started my business, it was big on personal development because, once again, a lot of us are told these stories over and over in our heads, or we're not told. We're telling ourselves because of a thought that we have from someone who told something to us in the past. And a lot of times, if you sit silently, quietly, sometimes those little thoughts can go crazy and haywire and like totally get you feeling like you can't do something. So I do a ton of personal development. If anyone's having any issues, feel free to message me, especially my women out there, because I work mostly with women. what kind of issue you're having. And I would be happy. I have a slew of books behind me. I listen to a ton of Audible books. I have some on my iPad, like a Kindle, because I've targeted every little like belief in myself. And actually, a really good one is this one for all my ladies out there. It's a fairly new, and y'all probably know Rachel Hollis, but this is an excellent book to start. Girl, Stop Apologizing. My other favorite is like She Owns the Place. These are big on confidence, and like she talks a lot about like the stories that we tell ourselves, and how to try to think differently about that. And again, change doesn't happen overnight, guys. This is like, I don't know if I told. Here they are. Kara wrote the like She Owns the Place. Kara Alwaleba and Rachel Hollis. And honestly, these are like two of my recent favorite personal development books regarding mindset. Super easy reads, both of them. For those of you who don't like to read, neither did I. Do I? And that's another transition. I never was a reader. I didn't grow up loving to read, but now I do. I prefer to listen again, but if you guys need help, two really very basic ones. If you've already read these and you need more recommendations, feel free to message me. Drop a comment below on Facebook. Instagram's a little harder to do that, but you can always DM me, and I have a ton of recommendations. And you all know, because I tell you all the time, I work on my mindset every single day. I don't jump on, social media first thing in the morning, or, I usually either put my earbuds in and listen to something like a podcast that's uplifting or a book, or then I play my music before I start dancing around. If you guys watch me on Instagram stories, I dance around pre-workout. So that's what I do. That is what I have done. And what I'm basically doing when I'm talking to you guys every day is like, okay, what do I want to talk about today? Something that may be heavy on my heart, or like something I was thinking about. And today, again, topic on Tuesdays is Transition Tuesday. I have 23 transitions that I can actually think that I've gone through. I probably have more than that. And how did I navigate through them, right? And so this is how I navigated from being a shy, introverted, or at least thinking I was and labeling myself, to being more outgoing. And hi, thank you for joining. And be more outgoing and getting on here and doing live videos and doing my podcast and standing in front of 60, 100 people, whatever, and talking. Like, you just have to do those 4 steps, practice them every day, tell yourself a new story, and you can do it. I did it. You can do it too. So, and I want to say I believe in you. I believe in all my Instagram and my Facebook friends. And now I got to go get my hair done. Hope you guys have an amazing Tuesday, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. And I don't know what I'm talking about tomorrow, but stay tuned. And we'll have a chat tomorrow. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for joining. Bye.